Rob, what is our third main topic today?
Our third main topic comes to us from Grady M. Hey, John and team. So I read a story that Ezra Miller's The Flash movie is now completed and locked. I must have missed something because I've been under the impression that the film has been done for a while. Didn't they finish shooting the movie over a year ago? Do you think the Miller drama caused delays and maybe different edits? What do you think, and where is your anticipation level for the movie right now? Thanks.
All right, thanks for sending that in, Grady. You know, that's a great question. I mean, we really have it in the midst of all the drama, the date changes, the Ezra Miller soap opera that never seems to stop. We have just never really stopped to ask ourselves the questions, where's our anticipation level like for this movie at this point? But let's talk about this. Yes, there is now picture lock or the edit lock on the film. The film is now what it's going to be. The final edit is done. This comes to us from the folks at CBR who says, Warner Brothers' long-awaited The Flash, featuring actor Ezra Miller reprising their Justice League role, is very near completion, though there is still some work to be done before it's ready for theatrical release. As reported by the Flash Film News, the final edit of The Flash has been complete and it's now locked. All that is left now is to finish up some VFX work, some sound mixing and post-production. Progress on The Flash had been uncertain since the film got its first teaser trailer at DC Fandom back in 2021, while the film was still in production. Filming wrapped in October of that year, but no new clips or teasers have been released. Though it's worth keeping in mind that the upcoming film is still some time away from its premiere date, because I think the movie's still 8 months out. It comes out summer of 2023. It's still a ways out. And you're right. Reading the headline that I did going around that, the Flash has now got edit lock. It's now edited. The film, what happens in the film is now set in stone. That's what it is. Now they're just putting in the final touches on VFX, some sound production, things like that. But the edit's done. Okay, we got an edit. But you're right. I think a lot of times, a lot of us were just under the assumption that the edit was probably done a long time ago. And the fact that it's taken this long for them to get to edit lock, it legitimately brings up some questions. Does it mean that at some point they said, whoa, before we do anything else, we got to figure out this Ezra stuff? Did they start down one path of an edit and then change directions in an edit? Whatever the reasons are, it's done now. So the edit is locked. The movie as it's going to be is now ready to go, but it's not a completed thing yet. They still got to get the post-production done. All right. Where does this leave my anticipation level? I'd be lying to you, and I wouldn't be human if I didn't tell you that the Ezra Miller drama has affected my outlook on the film. Of course it has. Now, when we hear the words The Flash, my mind, instead of going to a hopefully fun, exciting, franchise-invigorating movie coming out in the summer, my mind instead, when we hear The Flash, immediately goes to someone grabbing a girl by the throat and taking her down outside of a nightclub.
Yeesh.
I mean, it's unfortunate. And plus, all the other drama going on, and that is unfortunate. However, I have heard nothing but good things about the film. Director Andy Muschietti, from everything that I have heard, has done a terrific job putting together a terrific movie. And all I, as a film fan, can ask for is when I walk into a theater and the lights go down and heartbreak feels good in a place like this, that the movie that gets played in front of me is a good movie. And on that level, I'll be honest with you, I'm excited to see the film. Notwithstanding all the drama, everything else that is surrounded, for the film itself, the work of Andy Muschietti, I am excited to see Andy Muschietti's film. Of course, there's still baggage. There's still all that kind of stuff. And listen, part of me is just excited to see the movie because I'm excited for it to be in our rearview mirror. I'm excited to see it because I've heard it's great, but I'm also excited for this whole Flash drama to be put behind us. I'm excited to hear that official announcement that comes out 4 months after the Flash movie does, that Ezra Miller and Warner Brothers have parted ways over scheduling conflicts, which is exactly what they're going to say. And then we can put that behind us, get the whole Ezra Miller drama behind us. They can cast a new Flash, whatever. So I'm excited for this movie for several reasons. One, for the movie itself, because I've heard Andy's done a great job. Two, because I'm just looking forward to getting the whole Ezra Miller stuff behind us and we can move forward. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Amazon Pharmacy. I don't know about you, but when I need to go to the drugstore, I always seem to wait till the last minute, hoping that they'll be open, or I get stuck in a line, or both. And that's why I love Amazon Pharmacy. Yes, that Amazon. Amazon Pharmacy delivers a better pharmacy experience that delivers directly to your door and works with most insurance plans. Amazon Pharmacy helps you save time, save money, and stay healthy. They have transparent pricing, so you know what you'll pay before you pay it. That is clutch. As an added bonus, Prime members can save up to 80% on their prescriptions. And like I mentioned earlier, Amazon Pharmacy works with most insurance plans. And if you ever have any questions or problems, real pharmacists are always available at Amazon Pharmacy, no matter the time of day or night. A pharmacy that works for your life, with meds delivered to your door. It doesn't get any better than that. Switch to Amazon Pharmacy and save time, save money, and stay healthy. Learn more at amazon.com/Campea. That's amazon.com/Campea. Average savings based on usage and Inside RX data as compared to cash prices. Average savings for all generics are 78%, 37% for select brand medications. Restrictions apply. Anyway, Rob, you hear they've got the edit is now done. It's locked. They're going to polish up the post-production on it now before they have a truly completed movie. What do you think about that? What stands out to you? And right now, where does your anticipation stand for The Flash?
Well, we know that they did some reshoots over the summer.
Right, which almost every superhero movie does.
And so when they say they've locked picture, one of the things that people don't understand on like a big effects movie is when they lock picture, a lot of the time, the shots that are actually locked, the cut, have no special effects in them.
Yes.
And you have to lock picture because every frame when you're doing effects work costs money.
Money.
So you've got to get those shots exactly down because every frame, literally you're 24 frames a second or whatever. So you can't just, we can cut a little bit here. That's not how it works. So there's still a lot of work to be done on the movie, first of all. But two, I think that, as you've said, John, and as I've heard the same thing from people have said uniformly that this movie's excellent. Maybe the best DCEU movie. And clearly you've got a director that the studio really likes, delivering on It 1 and 2, making some real money. And despite the Ezra Miller situation, the studio's really high on this movie, clearly. They've defended this film throughout the entire process.
They've defended its quality.
Yes, I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah, the movie, not Ezra Miller. Yes.
Not Ezra Miller, the movie. I'm going to be clear on that. So, look, I'm excited to see this movie. I think it's going to be good. I want it to be good. I want to see it. I think we're going to get something special. I definitely want to see Keaton coming back as Batman, and I want to see the Supergirl they have in this movie, too. I like her costume. I'm very curious to see. I love the Flashpoint storyline. Both the animated movie that the DC Animation made and the whole Flashpoint comic series I enjoyed. So everything about this movie for me is something I want to see to be good. And I want it to be great. And obviously the SFX pipeline problem has been an issue with this movie. And I think one of the reasons and many others. And I think the reason it got pushed back was not simply because of the Ezra Miller situation either. I think this is an effects heavy movie. I think it got pushed back. I think the reshoots allowed them to caress the film the way they needed to, not necessarily anything about Ezra Miller, but change things around, and they have enough time where they don't have to rush the effects. So I think we're going to get something special with this, at least fingers crossed. And, dude, you know what? We got Black Adam. If Black Adam's good, Shazam, Aquaman, and The Flash. That's a pretty good lineup of DC movies.
If they can end up being in the same neighborhood of quality as the first Shazam movie and the first Aquaman movie, this could be a nice run for DC.
Really nice run. Yeah. And I'm hoping it is. You know me, we saw Aquaman together. I was enchanted by the goofy really Aquaman. It was goofy, but I loved every minute of it.
And then when is Blue Beetle scheduled for?
Oh, and Blue Beetle too. And apparently Warner Brothers is really big on it. Now listen, I can already hear people asking, and I get it. So let me just address the elephant in the room. Okay, John, you're saying you're excited for the movie. It's Andy Muschietti, but what about Ezra Miller? Like, if by putting this movie out, aren't you condoning the actions of Ezra Miller? No, time out. Hold on a second. Let me be very clear about this. This is not Ezra Miller's movie. This is Andy Muschietti's movie.
Right.
Ezra Miller did not write this movie. Ezra Miller did not produce this movie. Ezra Miller did not create the characters. Ezra Miller is a hired hand. In the same way that the costume designer who made the costume is a hired hand on a movie, Ezra Miller is just the guy who then takes that costume and puts it on. Ezra Miller is a hired hand in this movie. Now, look, I would have a problem if all the Ezra Miller drama was out and then they cast Ezra Miller. Then I would have a problem.
Yes.
That's a totally different thing. But it turns out that this movie that has thousands of people working on it, one of the hired hands, a very in the spotlight hired hand, but one of the hired hands that was hired before the filmmaker ever came on.
By the way, years ago.
Years earlier by somebody else. Turns out that hired hand may be a complete dick asshole. And okay, but what are we gonna do then with every movie that comes out? Again, I would feel very differently about this if they cast him today. If they cast Ezra Miller and they cast them today, that would be a different issue. But again, too many people look at this as this is Ezra Miller's film. It's not. Ezra is a hired hand on this movie. This is Andy Muschietti's film. And that's why when this movie's done, now listen, I will change my tune completely if after The Flash comes out and Warner Brothers does not part ways with Ezra, I'll be singing a totally different song at that point, believe you me. But they made this movie, the money's been invested. Apparently Andy made a great movie. Turns out one of the 1,000 people hired hands on the film turns out to be a complete dick. Okay, so what do? And I just think that it's a matter of us as film fans to recalibrate how we look at the actors. It isn't their movie. They're hired on to come in and do a job just like the set designer, the costume designers, the lighting people, all that kind of stuff. They're hired to do a job. They come in, they do the job, and then they leave. And Ezra's very much in the spotlight, and I am no longer an Ezra Miller fan, although I have very much liked Ezra in the role. I've said that from the beginning. Yeah. I've always liked Ezra in the role, but Ezra should never be the Flash again after this. I have no doubt about that, but you don't punish Andy Muschietti because one of his hired hands turns out to be a dick. At least that's my take on it right now. Maybe I'll feel differently about it a year or 2 years from now, but right now that's just how I feel about it. Anyway. Yeah,
I have a little bit more information on this. This was published by The Wrap since we've gone live. It says Ezra Miller returns to the Flash set for a day of pickup shots. This was last week. And then it says that The Wrap has also learned that Ezra and their agent met with Warner Brothers and had a very positive meeting about the future of the upcoming DC film.
So they're talking about the current film.
Yeah. Yes, the current film.
They're not talking about the future of Ezra Miller playing the Flash. Probably talking about how they're going to get, if they can get Ezra Miller to promote the film.
Right.
Which I don't believe they should. I think they need to keep Ezra 1,000 miles away from this film. I don't think they should let Ezra do any of the promotion for this movie. But that all being said, question is for you guys. What do you think about this now? They're saying that the edit is now locked on The Flash. Do you have excitement for it? Word is the movie's good, but maybe all the drama surrounding it has made you feel like, you know what? I just can't, we were talking about Rust the other day. And like, hey, Rust might be really good. I have to admit, though, everything that's happened with Rust is distracting me from the movie itself. Maybe all the Ezra stuff has done that for you. However you guys feel about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there.